A plethora of Cleveland Browns rumors. Could the Cleveland Browns be gearing up for a massive trade or a bold draft move? Insider chatter suggests big decisions are on the horizon, including the possibility of drafting standout talent like Jeremiyah Love to bolster the roster. Fans and analysts are buzzing, trying to piece together what the front office has planned in the National Football League. In this exclusive Browns Report Q&A, we break down all the rumors, trades, and draft strategies swirling around Cleveland. Could this shake up the AFC and reshape the team's future? Stay tuned, because the Browns might be planning something huge.
What's up, NFL fans? Welcome back to the channel. And today, oh boy, we've got a jam-packed episode for you. We're diving deep into a plethora of Cleveland Browns rumors that are swirling right now. From big trade talk to draft speculation and some fan Q&A, this is your one-stop spot to catch all things Browns. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's break it all down, because there is a lot to unpack here, and you do not want to miss a single detail. First up, let's talk trades. The rumor mill has been spinning non-stop lately, and one name that keeps popping up is that of a potential blockbuster trade. Browns fans, I know you've been hungry for moves that can truly reshape this roster, and there's chatter that Cleveland is actively exploring options to bolster their roster before the draft even kicks off.
Specifically, sources close to the team have hinted at a potential shakeup on the offensive line and possibly even in the receiving corps. Now, I can't confirm anything 100%, but there's definitely smoke here, and smoke usually means fire. So what could this big trade look like? Well, if we're talking hypotheticals based on the sources, the Browns are rumored to be eyeing some veteran talent that could make an immediate impact. Think players who can bring leadership and a winning mentality to a locker room that's been searching for consistency. Now the question becomes, what are the Browns willing to give up to make that happen? Draft capital is always on the table, and there's speculation that some mid-round picks could be in play. But don't sleep on the idea that Cleveland could package multiple assets for a star player. The front office has made moves in the past that show they're not afraid to swing big when the timing is right. And speaking of the draft, let's pivot to some hot draft rumors. One name that's generating buzz in Browns circles is Jeremiyah Love. Now, for those who haven't been following, Love is an intriguing prospect. He's got the athleticism, the size, and the playmaking ability that you love to see from a top draft pick. Teams are buzzing about his potential to make an immediate impact, and there's speculation that Cleveland could be eyeing him as a key addition to their roster. Fans, if this happens, it could be a game changer for the Browns' offensive strategy, giving them new options in the passing game and creating matchup nightmares for defenses across the league. But here's the twist. Some insiders are saying that while the Browns are definitely interested in Love, they're also weighing other options. This is where it gets really interesting. Cleveland is known for its careful scouting and analytical approach. They're not just going to take a player because he's hyped or flashy. They're looking for fit, character, and upside. So we could see a scenario where Love is targeted in the first round, or the Browns could wait until later to snag him if they feel the right value presents itself. Either way, it's going to be an exciting story to watch as the draft approaches. Now, let's get back to trade talk, because there's more here than just draft speculation. Rumors suggest that the Browns are keeping their ears open for potential moves on both sides of the ball. Defensively, there's chatter about adding depth in the secondary or bringing in a pass rusher who can turn games around. Offensively, while we mentioned the receiving corps, there's also talk of bolstering the offensive line to protect the quarterback and open up running lanes. And yes, if you're thinking about a big-name WR coming to Cleveland, you're not alone. Multiple reports suggest the front office is exploring every avenue to make the Browns' offense as dynamic and dangerous as possible. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. how these rumors impact the team chemistry and strategy. Trades, draft picks, and roster moves don't just happen in a vacuum. They affect the locker room, the playbook, and the overall direction of the franchise. If the Browns pull off a major trade, it could shake things up in a positive way, giving the team a spark heading into the season. But there's also a risk, right?
Bringing in new pieces, especially big personalities or high-profile veterans, can change the dynamics of a locker room. That's why the front office has to balance the excitement of acquiring talent with the need to maintain cohesion and culture. Cleveland has a history of being methodical with their decisions, and fans can rest assured that every move is carefully calculated.
Speaking of careful calculation, let's pivot to some fan questions, because you guys always bring the heat with your insights and curiosities. One viewer asked, do you think the Browns are more likely to trade up or down in the draft this year? Great question. Based on the rumors and team behavior in past years, my take is that Cleveland could do either, depending on who's on the board and the value they perceive. If a player like Jeremiyah Love is within striking distance and fits the team's needs perfectly, they might move up to secure him. But if the front office feels they can get great talent later while accumulating extra picks, they might be tempted to trade down. It's really a chess game, and the Browns have shown they're not afraid to make bold moves when it makes sense strategically.
Another fan asked, which position should the Browns focus on the most right now? Honestly, this is the million-dollar question. Offensive line stability is always a priority. Protecting the QB and establishing the run game is non-negotiable. But at the same time, impact skill position players can change the course of games instantly. So while the OL might be the foundation, adding a dynamic receiver or playmaker could be just as important for the team's success. And defensively, depth in the secondary and pass rush remains critical, especially in a division with high-powered offenses. Cleveland has a delicate balancing act ahead, and it will be fascinating to see how they prioritize. Now, back to the rumor mill for a second. There's a lot of talk about potential trades involving mid-round picks. Some sources suggest that the Browns could use these picks to move into a position to snag a specific player they've had their eye on for months. These aren't just empty rumors. Scouts and insiders close to the team are actively discussing scenarios, and while nothing is finalized, the possibilities are tantalizing.
Fans should be prepared for surprises, because this front office has a history of shaking things up in ways that catch the league off guard. And let's not forget about salary cap implications. Every move, whether it's a trade, free agent signing, or draft pick, has ripple effects on the team's financial flexibility. The Browns are navigating a tricky landscape, trying to balance immediate impact with long-term sustainability. That's why some of these rumors might not materialize exactly as reported. Financial considerations play a huge role in decision-making. But again, the fact that these rumors are circulating shows that Cleveland is thinking aggressively and creatively about how to improve. Another fan question I want to highlight is, do you think the Browns could be in play for a top-tier quarterback? Now, this is where things get really spicy. While there's no concrete evidence pointing to a QB trade at this moment, speculation is always part of the conversation, especially in today's NFL where quarterbacks are such pivotal pieces. If a situation arose where the Browns could get a franchise QB through a trade without mortgaging the future, you can bet the front office would seriously consider it. But for now, it seems the focus is on adding complementary pieces in depth rather than overhauling the QB situation.